done preparing the live stream, and and then then I'll get the YouTube link, and then I put it in the page. Done. Woohoo! Here we are, everybody. We're welcome. Welcome. We are going to get started. Then I'll get the YouTube link, and then I put it in the page. Done. Woohoo! Here we are, everybody. We're welcome. Welcome. We are going to get started. Then I'll get the YouTube link, and then I put it in the page. Done. Woohoo! Here we
If you need a buzz, no, it is not tough. There is a place you love, the Social Buzz Club, the place that you need to be set free. They'll make you feel at home like a king on his throne. Information you love, the Social Buzz Club will help you with your goals and help you take the toll. No, you can't go wrong, socialbuzzclub.com. So do not delay, visit today.
Hello and welcome everyone to Social Buzz Club. I'm Laura Rubenstein, and we are welcoming you actually to Social Buzz University, brought to you by the Social Buzz Club. And I am the founder and president of Social Buzz Club. And today we have a very special guest because she's one of our Dean team members, Catherine Saykaly-Stevens, and I'm going to introduce you to her in just a moment. We have a little housekeeping to do first. We are engaging and interacting at socialbuzzwebinar.com. And if you're live with us today, please say hi, comment next to the video or below the video, depending on your screen size. And this comment area is a great place for you to post your comments and questions and let us know where you're tuning in from today. We'll get to those questions that you have during this episode at the very end. And sometimes the best content gets shared at the end because, that's where you build up, like what is most meaningful for you. We love your tweets. Feel free to use that hashtag you see at the bottom of the screen, SBuzzU, during today's session with any pearls of wisdom that you get. And just for those of you who don't know what Social Buzz Club is, here's a little taste, what it can do for you. Imagine influential online networkers, those influencers, sharing links to your blog post, your videos, and website pages to who? Their website followers and social media followers, fans, friends, connections. Social Buzz Club is a tribe marketing and influencer marketing platform where members are reporting increases of traffic to their website by 60%, 70%. We've even had reports of over 1,000% or more. It really is the ultimate buzz marketing tool. And in addition, twice a month, we are here bringing you dynamic speakers and the latest training to propel your business to the next level. So please, it's worth joining just for the expert training library. I mean, we have people like Joel Comm and Lou Bortone and Vivica Von Rosen and LinkedIn, Instagram, publishing, anything you can think about that you want to learn about, Facebook ads, sales processes. And today we're going to overhaul your digital marketing strategy. That's what you can get by joining Social Buzz Club. So stay until the end because I have a very special set of bonuses for those of you who want to take full advantage of both the Tribe Marketing System and the Expert Training Library here. And you'll see for yourself how Social Buzz Club can be an incredible tool for gaining the online visibility you deserve. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Ms. Catherine Saykaly-Stevens. She's a digital marketing expert, a dear friend of mine with the networking web. That's her business. She helps frustrated business owners and speakers growing audiences, creating compelling content, and increasing sales conversions. And with over 25 years of experience, Catherine simplifies digital marketing with a 5-step customized process that generates the digital business blueprint that gets results. And she's going to be revealing that today. She's an active member of Evolutionary Business Council. She's also the social media expert in residence for the Canadian Authors Association. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's nice to be on this side today.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have so much to share, and I'm really glad that we're speaking today because there are some changes in people talking about some of these new systems that are coming, and we're going to talk about what works and what to just avoid, drop, and delete from what isn't working from everyone's strategy.
I love it. Well, the floor is yours.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm going to turn off the video over here before we start sharing. And let's go. All right. So today, first, thank you, Laura, again for having me on. Thank you to the audience who has come here live today. I have something to share with you afterwards. And for all of you who are watching beyond this moment, I want to just take one quick moment to let you know that social media and digital marketing is always changing. So some of the things you hear today are perfect for right now, but just beware as time passes, digital marketing and the space changes, not everything is going to be perfect, but for today, this is the converting ways. So the 5 stages to convert your target audience into buyers. My promise to you today is that your time will be well spent. You'll have some actionable takeaways, and we're going to answer 3 mistakes to avoid that most business owners make that stops buyers from buying, which is terrible. But first, are you frustrated and overwhelmed with your digital marketing and social media and not getting results? Yes, you are in the right place. It is a terrible thing, but overwhelm happens. When you look at the internet, there's something new coming out every day. There's a new system, there's a new channel, there are new apps, there are so many things to try. And systems that used to work for you don't even resonate anymore. But not to worry, you're not alone. Most people are dealing with this. Most businesses have to deal with this. And there are some solutions. First, let's take a look at why it isn't working. Why isn't it resonating? Why aren't your target audience coming to your sites? And then why aren't they buying? Now, we're talking about social media specifically in digital marketing space as well. And we're only going to look at the top 3 because we could be here all day. So one is social media is free, but it's not really free. And the one thing that it truly costs you is time. More than money, it's costing you time. And I know some of you are laughing at the free statement because you could spend a great deal of money on third party and hiring those that can do some of this media for you. But it is mistaken that you can go on and just start posting and think that you're going to attract. It's going to be very difficult. And there's some things that you need to put and strategies in place before that even happens. Some are successful doing that. And I want to say, you know what? There are people who get lucky. There are people who hit it off right off the bat and off they go. However, you have no idea what they've done to get to this place. So watching them work their magic and get results doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't do 50 other things to get there. They didn't build an online audience on a different channel and had very good success inviting them over to a new one. They might have a a marketing mailing list that they're inviting, not just your social, but they're inviting. You don't know what they're doing behind the scene. It's kind of like that overnight success for a band that's been around for 20 years. Just suddenly they're there and it's working, but you don't know the hard work they've put into it before that. And something that used to work, and I touched upon this earlier, there are wonderful strategies that worked for us at one time, but they're no longer relevant. And one of the things I'm just going to touch on right now is the idea of the early adopter. By the time the masses come in and try something, and we can just look at search engine optimization for that. We can look at Facebook ads for that. The early adopters paid pennies to reach thousands. But the more people in the pool, if you will, the more people who joined, now it takes hundreds just to reach hundreds. And it depends what they need to do. You need to get more specific. You need to hire a professional. Things that once worked no longer work. And we just have to roll with it. It's like It's like how the ground shifts during an earthquake and you just have to rebuild sometimes. Maybe you don't need to rebuild, but you need to refocus. The water can actually flow a different direction from a stream because of an earthquake. We have to be really careful that what we're working on right now is what is going to is the best thing for you to work on. And of course, if they're not using the 5 stages, you're starting at a disadvantage. All right, just very quickly, who is Catherine? We've seen this picture already. So digital marketing, social media strategist, an architect. I'm a developer for engagement, content, and community. And that is actually under one roof. The 3 of them have to go together or it doesn't work. I'm a speaker and author. I'm also a transmedia storyteller. And for those of you who might be familiar with the term or you've heard it before, it's basically social media or a one idea cross-platform, but it's presented in different ways and different stages. It's across omni-channels, and now it's actually immersive, something for another time. And when I find a few minutes here and there, I'm a screenwriter. All right. 5 stages to convert your target audience into buyers, and stats are harsh. So here is one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Out of the businesses that fail, 82% fail due to lack of cash flow. And when we are building a social media campaign and we are depending on it bringing in money, and it should, we want to make sure that it is one of the pillars that is bringing in cash flow into the company. So there's no point in doing it unless you're doing just a visibility campaign, and you can do that visibility, increase the reach, and then go into sales and marketing first and then sales. But you need it to be bringing in money. And unfortunately, social media likes do not pay your bills. I'll say it again. Social media likes do not pay your bills. You need to do much more than throwing up posts hoping for likes. It needs to convert. And conversion means that an action is going to take place. By the time I talk to most people, especially in networking events, everyone seems to be seeking someone to do their social media. But this would be the mistake, because to do their social media just means, here's my account, just put some pieces together, put some graphics on it, and send it out. And that is not going to help. Social media is just one piece of the puzzle. And you'll see in the 5 stages, social media is actually broken out across all of them, but it doesn't become social media until stage 4, one of the last pieces. Let's quickly confirm for most business owners, social media success equals sales, and sales require buyers. So you're in the right place. You need a solid plan. You need all 5 stages. So let's start with stage number 1. Assess your current situation. Now, really, what does that mean? It means that first, you need to set your goals and your intentions. Now, why do you want to do that? You need to know if you've achieved your goal. You need to know once the content is out there and it's resonating and people are coming forward, was that it? Is that all you need it to do? Is it just a sale? Does it go beyond a sale? Is there a baseline you can measure against? Because that is going to be the piece at the end where you know if whether or not you are successful. And if you don't have a clear outline of that baseline to measure to, you won't know what actual success looks like. And did you make enough? Did you get enough clicks? Did you get enough phone calls for the cash flow to be where you depended on it or expected it to be? And don't forget, it's not just sales. It could be subscriptions, visibility, the preliminaries to a launch platform, looking for volunteers, just growing your numbers of fans and followers, all while building in the background before putting out your marketing. Is there demand? Now, this one is another harsh piece because you have created something you love and adore, but is there a demand for it? It can be heartbreaking, but this is something you need to know before you start putting all this time, effort, and money into the piece that you are building. Find out first, is this Is this something that your audience wants? Is it your target audience? Ask your old clients, ask your new clients, send out a survey, ask people the questions that are going to let you know whether or not you're doing it right, or if you need to improve and change, especially your marketing going forward. There we go. Determine your target audience. Now, this is where we call avatars. And avatars are going to be very interesting because some people have just one and they don't need to worry about it. Others might have 12 avatars, avatars A through Z, A through Z. And what you need to do if you have multiple avatars is always identify the avatar that buys. It might be one of the smaller groups, but they're the ones that are most likely going to buy from you. Get that fat cash flow going, get them interested first, then go after your other avatars. Not the easiest, the one that's most likely to buy. All right. Discover your target audience's pain points and put it to words and make it a big part of your marketing campaign. If it isn't, you're going to lose them down the line, even though it looks like everything is going well now. And we're going to be talking about that in detail once we get to the end of stage 3. We also want to make sure that our message is absolutely crystal clear, and you need to test it. You're going to ask your current clients, your colleagues, because if they don't get it, there is very low likeliness that other people who don't know you are going to get it, and you're not going to have a chance to explain like you will when you ask a client or colleague. All right. Now, just so you know, we're going to be spending the most time in stage 3. That's where the bulk of today's presentation is going to be. And we're going to go through 2 through 5 and then go back to stage 3 because there's so much more that we need to learn there. Now, number 2 is building the base. Now, some people will say build your funnel. Funnel is sometimes considered a bad word. It's a fantastic word, but we'll get there in just a moment. So you want to determine your buying process, as in how many steps. Is it online initially and then it goes offline? Do you have a flow through plan for how they're going to buy from you and how many steps or touches you think it's going to take? If you have a freebie, you can create that landing page that's just a lead magnet and then start multiple pages, starting to ask for money and asking for offering bigger pieces and bringing more in. But if you are selling a high figure, you can't send them directly to a $5,000 page and expect them from a social media post to make a purchase. Now, very quickly, the landing page is one of several single points of entry. And the reason you want a single point of entry is you could be doing interviews. You could be on a podcast. You have written an article somebody read. You posted some social media. You could be, somebody could be writing about you on Quora. Doesn't matter where it came from. You could be live on stage, but you need them to go somewhere. You could have a couple of different points of entries, one per avatar, but that landing page has everything you need to convince them to join you, to buy from you. But only if you have the time and you've written the information the way that they want to see it. So that single point of entry has everything they could possibly need. You can't put that in a social media post. Depending on the audience that you're speaking to, you can't get into all the details if you're in an interview. But you can on that page, and as long as people keep nodding and they like what they see, they'll keep reading or they're going to click that button. This is where you design the flow of information psychologically on a landing page. And just so you know, it's not just landing pages. It can be a video. It can be part of a website. You can send them to a physical location. It doesn't matter what it is, but they have to have the ability to see it. And the landing page is currently the most common way to send a converting system. So when you design the information, there's information they need to know at the top. Then you need to hit their pain points. Then you need to let them know that there's a solution to the pain points. Then you start dissecting why you can help them with the pain point. And by the way, this also works with pleasure, but pain point is by far the most converting depending on the content. So don't write it yet. You have all these other pieces we just don't have time to do today, because this is a full hour presentation we're going to do in 30 minutes. But you have to have your single action step, one single message on the page, the follow-up. How does it move into your mailing list or your CRM? What is the email sequence after it? And this is where you talk about the funnel. When you have the outline, you can really start to fill it, but you want to have at least a really good first or second outline in content, because now you're going to create compelling content. So this is creating compelling content for every stage. And we're going to come back to stage 3 in a little while after we finish with 5. But first, just realize in this stage, you're going to write the text that fits. At stage 1, it is part of your marketing message, because you could say it at a networking event. You can say it from stage if you're given an opportunity to introduce yourself. You can say it in a video. You can say it in text. You can say it in art or image. You can say it in one of those doodles. No matter how you say it, it has to be the right content. Whatever you do with your first draft for your landing pages, emails, websites, etc., this is where you sit down and you make it perfect. We'll get back to that in a bit. Your third stage, which is the source of your framework. Now this is for blogs, articles, videos, books, courses, whatever else you're doing with your content. You have your core content that everything is going to come from, that's coming from that landing page or the landing pages that you're creating for different avatars. All of this material coming forward or going forward stems from this place, so that whatever you've written on that landing page is going to be familiar to those that are coming in, because they've already seen what they like. They just want more information. If the information doesn't match, if the wording is not similar, they're going to exit your entry point and not return. Stage 4 is social media, digital marketing, same idea. Whatever you've written for your landing page, you're going to make sure that your short micro text or graphics or video, whatever it is you're going to create, is going to make pieces. Now, reports and fixes, you know what, I just threw that up there. You can decide what you're going to do with your report, but you're going to want to use the same language that you're using for your own piece. All right, now stage 4 is development, distribution, and strategy. And of course, there is so much here that everyone thinks is in social media, but there's so much more than just social media. I've talked about interviews and stages, which is off, so it's not even online, but there's an opportunity, a fabulous opportunity for live events to carry both social media and in-person interaction, which creates incredible communication going forward. And one thing that is, oops, let's just go back here a second. I do have one bullet point missing, I apologize. When you have your channels that you're going to distribute to, you want to make sure that whether it's social media or it's one of the other 33 types of digital marketing, of which social media is one, there is great opportunity to cross over. And that's where transmedia comes in. And story is very important. I'm sure you're seeing lots of opportunity for story. And that's where one channel can be your core channel, but you're going to try to attract people using some of the material in the core channel that's specifically designed for another channel. And another channel can be from stage. Another channel can be at a networking event. Another channel can actually be speaking to a group through a webinar, being on Quora and writing messages, writing posts on LinkedIn that send them to another location that does something like this, where we're doing a training online. Determine where your target audience is. You've discovered who they are, what they want, what is making them rip their hair out. Now, where are they? Because many people are very happy with the social media areas that they're currently in. But if that's not where your audience, and remember, if you're looking at our avatars, it's first, we must make sure that our buying avatar or buying avatars are serviced. For many of us, that's going to be LinkedIn. For others, it could be, it could actually be Reddit. It could be speaking on stages. All of that is important to make sure that we know where the audience is and how many channels you can handle at one time. It's always a good idea to really master one before you start a second and then a third and a fourth. If you just pick up 5 channels and you don't know if the first one is working, it's almost like having different launches. If you don't know that the first launch is working, how could you launch 5 different things at the same time? Make sure one is working. Make sure that all the flow through and the funnel is working. Make sure that the social and digital channels that are going out is returning people to it. And then make sure that it's profitable before you start the new one. It's the same idea with a channel, whether it's social or digital. Make sure that one is working well before you start going on to the others. Now, to retouch your content for each channel means that you don't create a post in Instagram and say, I'll send that to LinkedIn, I'll send that to Twitter, I'll send that to Facebook, as is just the link. It's a different communication style for every channel, and you have to be respectful of the people who love to live in that channel. Because if you're speaking to them in Instagram talk when you're on LinkedIn, you're not going to make a connection. You're not going to bring people over unless it is absolutely content that they really want, but it's not necessarily going to do that. And it is more time. It does take more, but it is absolutely important. Effective management. Okay, now this can be campaign management. This could just be managing one little piece or managing the whole enchilada. But it's incredibly important to make sure that you revisit your original goals and what you wanted before you start this stage. Have they changed? Often if you haven't looked at your bio in a long time and you think, oh goodness, I haven't seen it in 5 years, many things have changed. Things that you've done in the last 5 years have not gone up, and things that you used to do that you're no longer doing need to come down. It's the same thing when revisiting your goals. You may not be as motivated for some of them as you do for others. One of them might actually be removed altogether. So you need to make sure that this is going to suit you going forward. You have to create an ability to monitor and analyze. Now, we have a system that just checks to make sure that everything is aligned, everything is working where there are issues. And when we take a look at these, we often have the ability to delete, tweak and alter, or rinse and repeat. Though there are plenty of others that you can look at, because altering, there's so many different ways of tweaking through altering and creating new systems altogether. But what you're really looking for is what's not working that you can remove and just not waste any more time on it. What just needs a few tweaks here and there, maybe a couple of times, and then it's going to be working. And the rinse and repeat means whatever you're doing right and it's bringing people in and they're buying, do more of that, because that is working. And then determine if the period of time that you chose to monitor and check to see if you were successful. Did this goal work? Was this a successful period? Do you need to elongate it? Do you need to shorten it? Do you need to double your goals because you met what you needed? All right, the 5 stages. And we're going to jump right back into creating compelling content, because this is where we're going to really make a difference, because what you do in stage 3, you go back and put into stage 2, into stage 1 in the marketing message, and into 4 going forward. So a question for you is, who is responsible for each item in each stage of your plan? So before you go forward and think, I can do everything, or I have the right people to do everything, Are they really the right people? Do you need to hand something else over to one of your employees so that you have more time to create content? Because you are honestly the best person to write the content for your company. So are there things that you can give away that doesn't need your full attention because you can create the content and then hand it over to somebody else to massage or to create 10 pieces out of that one piece or put some graphic and design into it, but only you can create the original core. All right. One of the things that we need to see is content at every stage. So this means that you want to have a content style guide, because if you do, if you're working on everything yourself, and you can, one person business, there are many that are out there, you may have started that way, then you know everything. You don't need to worry about it. But as you're creating content going forward, there are certain words you're going to use. There are certain colors. As you can see, I have this black, purple, kind of a gray, blue combination. That is on every single webinar that I put. It's on all my main pieces of content that go out. And same thing with the fonts. That's something that I can give to my employee or my contractor that I don't have to keep checking, because there is a style guide that says what all the standards for everything are. All right, now just one second. We're just doing the review of the 5, and then we'll jump ahead into writing compelling content that sells. We have to write to persuade at every step, every stage, every post, even if it's social media. It has to be persuasive, or it has to complement, so that the viewers, from the viewer's starting point. Now, what that means is, if your viewer is coming in because they saw a LinkedIn post, that's their entry point. That's where they're discovering you for the first time and making their first impression. Some people are going to see you from stage, and they're going to have a completely different experience seeing that. Others are going to come in because they saw you on a video, and they're going to have a completely different experience. So whatever the starting point, whatever that experience is for the viewer, each and every one has to be persuasive, and it has to move them forward to the place where you want to be, that entry point, that video, that landing page, that's going to be the place where they can get all the information they need so that they can make the decision to move forward and take action and either join or buy. It needs to be in the viewer's channel. Now we're going back online at this point. So if it's in the viewer's channel, then it's also using the same viewer's communication style. Goodness, everything's out of order here. So it has the same communication style. If the communication style of that particular channel is converting, they'll keep reading. And it says it's using the words. Remember, we talked about at the very beginning, as you start talking to your clients about your projects, we're going way back to stage 1. What words did they use? You want to write that down, because you know what? You can use your words. You can use your jargon. You can use things that you know it makes sense. But does your audience, does your converting audience know what that means? They may have different terms for it. They may not even be the correct terms, but it needs to be words that they understand. The next thing is the examples, the images, the window dressing of the content, if you will, and the videos also has to resonate with the words. So I had said that we're going to look at the 3 most common mistakes to avoid most business owners make that stops buyers from buying. And the first one is, it's not the right social media channel. Out of all the ones we saw before, these are the main takeaways. These are the main errors to stop doing right now. Are you in the right social media channel? You might love Facebook, but your people are, they might even be in Twitch. And if they are, then you might, and you're not familiar with it at all, you might at that point find somebody who is very familiar who can work with you. Most likely everyone here is working with people who like LinkedIn, or they need stages they need to speak on. They need to generate so much interest to fill seats rather at those stages. They need to sell a product that they're going to start on the 1st of October, and they need a certain number of people to join by then. Whatever it happens to be, if it's not in the right social media channel and not using that channel's communication style, and I'm going to bring this right back, that it's a combination of that channel's communication style with the avatar's pain points and their own words. These are the 3 most common reasons that buyers are not buying, even though they're looking at your material and they want what you have, but they're not getting that most converting words. The words make all the difference. Those of you who are using imagery, if it's not the words, it's what the image represents in words. So think about it that way. If your image of your example is a male who is a little bit younger when it really should be an older male, it is making a difference. Now, I'm going to show you an example of not using a target audience pain point. We're going to take a look at this. There are many ways to start off in pain points. And actually, this is a great exercise to do if you want to sit down and find every possible way to say this. Let's take a look at a template. Are you let them self-identify themselves in the words that you choose next. Who is having this particular discomfort, this pain point, this problem, because of what that problem is forcing them not to have, or what they're lacking, or something that is eluding them. And this is a very easy standard. You can start playing around with it. And I like using the piece, or the quote rather, of learn the rules like a pro so that you can break them like an artist. You want to write these out. You want to write many of these out. Who are all your avatars? You can get very specific with the type of avatars. What are their pain points? You have many, but always work with one at a time so that you really get them looking at your material. You are speaking their language. You are saying, you know exactly what problem they're having, and you can fix that. And the right words in the right order can really help do that. Now, let's take another one, another look. Do you remember what we started this with? Are you frustrated and overwhelmed with your digital marketing and social media and not getting results? This piece is actually an incredibly important start, because if somebody looks at that, then this, by the way, was slide number 3, and said, actually, nope, that's not me, and they leave, we haven't wasted their time. That's really important. But if this is you, if this is the person, and just you put your examples in here, this is going to be easier if you can identify them. And by the way, I used you instead of business owner in this particular point, because everybody who's come to the Social Club, Social Buzz U today are most likely business owners. So we don't need to say that once they're inside a bubble. When it's out into the open, you have to get very specific. When it's within the bubble, you could start dropping different items. And this is an exercise that you can do. How can you say what your audience is feeling and not getting, and what is their pain point? Write 20 different versions of this, 20 different ways. And that is going to help you really go forward with your landing page content, your selling content, your social media going forward, and your marketing message. You've got 30 seconds at a speaking or a networking event to maybe even 10 seconds. How are you going to get their attention so that they understand that you can solve their problem? All right. I'm just going to stop back here for 1 second and jump over here. wanted to try an exercise. Laura, I'm gonna see if anybody wants to do an exercise. I want people, whoever's present and feels like participating. So
I love this. I'll do this with you.
What is a pain point that one of your clients, or a pain point that you are having, that is really driving them nuts? And it's always at the moment. It could drive them nuts next week. It could be their finances at the end of the year. But right now at this stage, what is driving them nuts?
They're not getting the visibility they desire.
Right. Visibility is incredibly important. At first, it's important to keep it going and expand reach. And I'm just going to move to one point here. Visibility is engagement, and it is forgotten my term, excuse me.
Definitely, it's engagement. That's another term. It's like, I just want people to engage with me, and I want to know more about them, and I want to feel like these are like complaints, or frustrations that clients who, they want more, they bottom line want more sales, but they know if they could make an impact and get their message across more succinctly. It's not even getting the message across, it's about visibility for that message. So they've got the messaging, it's the visibility. They've got the pain points a lot of times.
Me for doing this online, but I cannot find, I am missing one slide that it's probably gone someplace else. So I'm just going to move to the last place we had this.
Okay.
Okay. And just so you know, my machine has just started backups, even though it's not supposed to. That is why
we always have backups.
We always have backups, and they're important. Here we go. Okay. We're going to talk about visibility, and I've got my attention back. Laura, thank you so much for joining.
I love this quote, though. Stats are harsh. 82% of businesses fail due to lack of cash flow, and social media likes don't pay your bills. Right.
That's right. So visibility versus reach and sales. There is a process. Laura, I know you know this better than anyone. When we're looking at visibility, it is usually the first stage. Before you start, you can't grow while you're marketing. That's one rule. When you're creating a visibility campaign, you should not be selling because they haven't trusted you yet. So you want to create the same things that you do in your third stage. Creating all that content is absolutely going to help you when you're doing your visibility. And that's going back to, hey, everybody, I don't know if my brand new course is going to work. Can I ask some of my clients, some of my colleagues, and even some of you out there, is this something that's going to be useful for you? Now, that's the direct approach. You created a survey, you're asking for interviews, you're collecting data, you are especially collecting the words that they're using, because if they are your target audience, those are the words you're going to put right back on the page. You can put some of your own, but the audience needs to hear their own because that's how they identify it. When they come back to visibility and you don't do direct, you can start putting on test pieces. How is this piece testing with this cover art? How is it testing with this wording versus that wording? When you put those pieces out, and this is, it's usually in the second phase that you're doing it. It's not your campaign, they're test pieces. You can choose which ones are making that are really resonating, and you make more of those. You change the message slightly. Maybe you send them to a different blog post. You send them to a different place before you send them to the converting landing page or video or whatever it is that you need to send them. And by the way, many people do very well sending people directly to their author page on Amazon. They don't even need a landing page because they've developed their author page with all their books already there. Amazon does a great job putting it up there. You can now have a marketing piece. That could be your landing page. You don't even need to create something massive. But if you want to collect, for your mailing list, you want to collect and target people who have visited, but they didn't buy, but they might come back later. They may have signed up for something in the past, but they're just not converting to a sale. But they converted once just to join your list. But why? These are the ones that you're going to put in. So you have to decide, and we talked about this in the second stage. I'll just move this forward. When determining, what is your single point of entry, in your visibility stage, you don't necessarily start sending them there yet, because you need to know what's going to be compelling. And I'm going to talk about social media directly at this point in most of the main accounts. If you have a larger number of people viewing your accounts, viewing your posts, that is, it's going to be a big difference in how many people see them in the next immediate future. When you're testing your visibility, sometimes you're not going to get resonating posts. It's not a great time to start your launch. You want to have those visibility tests. Then the ones that are working, you send them out and you're growing at this point, and your visibility is increasing, your reach is increasing, people are following you, they're liking what you're doing, you're starting to send them now to your page, whatever is your single point of entry, that landing page. Or if you're not collecting names and emails for your CRM, you're sending them directly to your books or to your programs. Whatever that happens to be, the next stage where you're going for sales, you're not growing in numbers. You are now selling. And that is once you've got your deliverability here, excuse me. I love it when slides don't work quite the way you do, but here we go. When you're developing and distributing your content throughout your channels, again, you're not growing, you are distributing, you are gathering people in, and this is the point where you're converting or you're not. Or maybe you're converting in some cases, but it's not with the people you thought you would. Now they might have discovered a new avatar, or maybe an old avatar that wasn't a buyer has become a buyer, but the buying avatar has not. And you need to go back now to your effective campaign management and make sure that everything is working. And this is your delete, tweet, alter. And you're always testing for better words. If you talk to people and you always want to be assessing, you should always make sure that you're revisiting your original goals. And is my message clear enough? Is my avatar really the right avatar? You're never finished with this stage. You are always going back, even if it's for short periods of time, because you could revisit, you could improve, and you can make more sales. Now I needed that, sorry, as the recap so that we could go to the piece I wanted to. Okay, an example, creating compelling content. So again, whoever wants to participate, now that we've recapped that section, I want you to write the biggest pain point that you have. Just write it. You don't have to write it in the live chat. You could just write it down. What is the biggest pain point that you have? From there, what is the result of that pain point? What are you not experiencing because you have this problem? From there, what stage are you lacking on because you have this problem that's resulting in this pain? So what are you not receiving now? And what are you not receiving later because it's not working? And that might be, I can't go to my conference. I can't go to a movie on Thursday because something's not working and I have to stay here and fix it. It doesn't matter what it is. So think about it at different stages of the day, different stages of work. What is a pain point right now? Get them all out on paper. Type them all on your phone. I usually speak them into my phone. What's not working right now? What am I missing out on? What problems is it? What is happening because of it? And what am I missing out on in the future? Now you have the pain points. And then if you want to self-identify yourself at the beginning, you know what some of the pieces that you have. Now start doing it for your clients.
Nice.
I think we've run out of time there, but that's the main piece that I wanted people to use. I had a screen here, and if anyone's interested, I can always send it since you didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you have a special offer for us today. Is that right?
I do. And once again, I'm going to just stop screen for a moment so this can move forward quickly. So one thing I am going to do is make sure that you have a...
Do you want to come back on camera? Or
yeah,
do you want to
come back. My piece here is just being very, very, very wary. My offer to you is a 30-minute complimentary business strategy session. And if you want that sheet, I am happy to give you that sheet because you did not get a chance to see it here. Feel free to email me. Just tell me where you saw me from. So this is from Social Buzz U today. If you want to go directly to Calendly, you can just book a time that works for you in my calendar. Again, just tell me where you're coming from, and I'm happy to do a complimentary session for you and give you that sheet because I think it's going to make a world of difference as you see yourself and how you see your clients.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much for the in-depth stages to take people through to developing and overhauling their digital marketing strategy, how to get unstuck by evaluating each stage. Brilliant. I love it. I took lots of notes myself. I do preach this stuff, but it's, you know, it's always great to hear it again. And one of the biggest things, you went back to that compelling content stage, is like the biggest, most important. And that's why we're here at Social Buzz Club. We help you get that compelling content out, right? So I'm going to share my screen real quick and let you know how we can support that stage of distribution. The fourth stage is like getting it. So you've created your compelling content. Now let's go ahead and use our influencer marketing platform to help you explode your ability to reach millions of people, including by influencers in our influencer network here, to share. They'll be sharing your content, your compelling content that you're creating now that, you know, Catherine, you've taught us all how to do that. Whether it's blogs or websites, landing pages, videos, special offers, you will get access to thousands of fans, friends, connections, followers through the Marketing Collective, through this influencer network. And you deserve that visibility. If you're someone who, and I'll use your thing, are you feeling like you have a passion? You know, that you want to make a difference, a bigger difference in people's lives, but you're feeling like nobody, but you're invisible. Well, the key is to get, not, is what I like to say is, what's better than you sharing out your own content is other people sharing your content. So let's get you the visibility to their networks. And of course, I'd love for you to use a Social Buzz Club to do it. Like I said in the beginning, people experience traffic increases by 50, 60, 70, 100% more. And all it costs is $297 a year. Now, this is better than doing a Facebook ad. You can't spend $297 for a year's worth of advertising and get people retweeting you and resharing all your content throughout the whole year, right? So it's like a no-brainer. And if you join us today for the annual package, I will give you 1 month free of my virtual assistant to set you up and do your first month of Buzz. So that means we'll be sharing your content out there and submitting, sharing other people's content, because curating other people's content is really great. Social media is not just about sharing your own content. It's about sharing other people's really valuable content. And like you saw in the beginning where we scrolled through some of the feed, there's high value content in there. And as Catherine taught today, you want to create that compelling high value content yourself for other people to share. So we'll help you use the gamified platform and go to socialbuzzpremium.com. And once you do that and sign up for the $297, if you email me at laura@socialbuzzclub.com, that's Laura, Laura at socialbuzzclub.com, that you signed up, I will go send you, um, I will set up a time with you to give you this social media makeover and to get you set up with my VA. It's going to be, like this is like you can't get a VA for a month practically for $297. Okay. So really super duper no brainer. Join us at socialbuzzpremium.com. And of course, we continue. One of the benefits of being a member is you get the expert library, this training, the university, the whole set of over, I think it's 200 trainings now that we have available for you on everything from what Catherine talked about today with digital marketing to publishing your book to becoming a better salesperson to getting emotional intelligence using LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook ads or whatever. And if you want a new webinar, just let me know. I'll go find the expert who will give you a high value, step-by-step things you can take away, just like Catherine did today. And Catherine, thank you so much for your generous offer. I put back here on the screen your Calendly link, which is cat/Catherine. Oops, there should be an E in there, right? Sorry about that. Let's change
There's a
that.
little E. That's okay.
Yeah, there's an E, and I'm going to make that change right now so everybody knows that there is an E. Look, magic of, of the web here. So either visit her at, just send her an email at Catherine with a C at thenetworkingweb.com or calendly.com/Catherine Saykaly-Stevens. Do these have to be capitalized?
They do not.
They do
Nothing
not.
needs to be capitalized, but
Okay.
it's a long name.
And it's easier to read. And
It's a
I
long.
like the way I remember your name is Catherine Saykaly-Stevens. And I know it's Saykaly-Stevens, but Saykaly helps me remember how to spell it.
Yeah. By
So
the way, that is one sweet deal for the Social Buzz Club. That is, you want people putting out your content, you need multiple pieces, you need pillars, and that is just a wonderful pillar. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I think you covered so much of why this is so important, right? Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention what was on the screen. Marsha Bench is up next on September 26th, and she's going to be
Second
talking
one.
about how to create premium price coaching programs. So if you want to, now that you have the strategy that you talked about, Catherine, Marsha's going to talk about, okay, put together the package that makes your budget money so you can use that strategy.
Absolutely.
It's great. Thank you. We are at the top of the hour. I feel really complete, actually. I don't have many questions. So I think we are good. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be back next time with another on the 26th with Marsha Bench. Thank you again, Catherine, for your awesome offer. Please take her up on it. She's got a great mind to help you grow your business. Bye for now.